Hello, thank you so much for your wonderful feedback from our episode one. We're back for episode two. And
Yes.
this episode today tackles mold and chronic inflammatory response syndrome. And I have no one other than one of the best in the field of mold and SIRS, my wonderful, amazing husband, Dr. Saini, a pulmonologist, sleep physician, and mold and SIRS certified by Shoemaker. And we are going to talk about how this mold sounds really small, sounds very indefinite, but tackles our homes, disrupts our homes, lives, our body, and why we need to pay more attention to it and what you can do to seek help. So we're just going to jump right in, Dr. Saini.
Yes.
My first question for you, a lot of people think of mold as mold on my fruit, on my bread, but it's actually so much more than that, very
Absolutely.
complex.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people don't even understand the damages it does and the complications that comes from mold exposure. Can you please kind of elaborate more on that?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
So, mold and mold-induced chronic inflammatory response syndrome is just unraveling.
Hmm.
Unraveling because we're getting to know so much more about what mold does to the whole body. The amazing thing is the fact that mold is in 50 to 70% of our homes
Hmm.
in the United States
Hmm.
because of weather, because of different changes in the codes of
Hmm.
building, and also because a lot of builders are cutting corners now
Hmm.
so that they can turn over the homes quickly.
Hmm.
So you can imagine if 50 to 70% of our homes have mold or have had water damage at some point in time, and then 25% of the population have a genetic abnormality that makes them susceptible to mold and its impacts.
Hmm.
So those combination is mind-boggling. What we've discovered is that a lot of people complaining about brain fog, chronic fatigue,
Hmm.
that gets diagnosed with
Hmm.
chronic fatigue syndrome, a lot of those are due to mold and chronic inflammatory response syndrome.
Hmm.
So you can imagine it's a lot more than just having mold on our food. It's mold in our dwelling places. And it's
Hmm.
not just our homes, our
Hmm.
schools,
Hmm.
our churches, our library, colleges, campuses.
Where we're spending
So
time.
it's a
Hmm.
pandemic
Hmm.
and it's destroying lives.
Hmm.
A lot of patients get diagnosed with ALS, Parkinson's, dementia,
Hmm.
and meanwhile, it's due to chronic inflammatory response syndrome from mycotoxin or other biotoxins
And
that's in
toxins.
our
Hmm.
home. It's
Hmm.
not just mold alone, it's
Hmm.
actinomyces, it's endotoxins that's in our buildings, and it's destroying life. So, our purpose with this podcast is to bring the awareness about what mold is doing
Hmm.
and how we can intervene and get our lives back.
Well, really good. Very, very well answered question, Dr. Saini. I
Thank you.
also want to actually shed some light on this because and I want you to answer this question because a lot of people ask, well, my home is newer. There should not be any, there shouldn't be any signs of mold. And you did point out to the fact that the way our newer homes are even been built.
Yes,
So it doesn't have to
yes.
be your homes from the 17th century
Mhm.
or the 19th century or,
That's true.
but it could even be some of your newer homes and paying attention to if you've had water damage. And most people don't even realize that. And certain regions have water damage or had hail or floods and
Yes.
not realizing that they had that exposure as well and that genetic mutation. Can you elaborate on that as well? Just a little bit, touching on the fact that even if your home is newer, you
Yes.
can still be susceptible
That's
to
very
mold.
true. That's very
Mm.
true. I have so many clients that brand new homes
Yeah.
that just got built
Mm.
and they had mold exposure
Mm.
because of what I said. The building codes have changed.
Mm.
We're trying to make our homes more energy efficient,
Mm.
so they're tightly wrapped, and
Mm.
a lot of the roofs are not done the way they should be done. So there's water leak in
Mm.
brand new homes, and the home builders are trying to turn over the homes as quickly as possible. So that combination, it just makes it a recipe for mold infestation. So I have so many clients that actually, having mold issues and
Yes.
they're actually having cases,
Mm.
lawsuits with their home builders,
Mm.
brand new homes.
Mm.
And then it's not just homes alone. Our cars
Mm.
have mold.
Good,
Our
good,
cars have
good,
mold.
good.
So mold exposures from our vehicles.
Mm.
And just like I said, 25% of the population have a genetic abnormality. It makes them susceptible to the chronic inflammatory response from mold toxins.
All right, my darling, this has really been great. And thank you. This has been so informative.
Thank you.
But if someone is listening to you right now, someone is listening to you right now and thinking, oh my gosh, what are my next steps? I need to find out if I have mold because I've tried it all. I've seen all my specialists. There's still this thing that's unresolved. What are the next steps? In very few words, so they know the next action to help save their lives.
Thank you. Very good question. So once you have a high index of suspicion,
Yeah.
there are certain things that you can do.
Mhm.
Okay. So there's a website called the survivingmold.com.
Mhm.
It has a lot of information about mold.
Mhm.
And there are certain screening online tests that you can do.
Wonderful.
It's called a VCS,
Mm.
Visual Contrast Sensitivity Test.
Mm.
It's a test that actually has been available for about 70 years that the military uses for screening for biotoxin exposure.
Yes,
It's an
yes.
online screening test, and you can do it within 10 minutes. You
Mm.
can get your results, pass or fail.
Mm.
So that's going to help you along that line.
Mm.
And then you can actually order a mold swab test.
Mm.
It's called an ERMI test, ERMI. And
ERMI.
that's going to help you to know how much mold and what types of mold you have in the house.
Mm.
And once you have that, and that is showing mold, and you fail the VCS test, you
Mm.
definitely want to reach out to a mold expert.
Mm.
You can see those experts on the Surviving Mold
Mhm.
website.
Mm.
My name is one of the physicians on that website. So you can
Mm.
reach out to us
Mm.
as well. We see patients online and
Virtually.
also virtually and
Yeah.
also on site.
Mhm.
We're here to help
Yes.
because the most important thing is that to prevent permanent brain damage
Yes.
from mold.
Mold.
When you start early with the treatment, you can reverse and heal.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And I would love to add this. The testimonies we've gotten from this practice, sharing this with you today, has been very humbling just to see what God has been doing through the eye-opening opportunity for Dr. Hussaini to carry and lead this practice in this mold and chronic inflammatory response syndrome. If you know someone that is suffering, if you know someone that is going through a debilitating disease of unknown origin, I think it's about time they get some answers. And we are here for you. This is going to be a continuing conversation.
Yes.
It's so wonderful to
Thank
have
you.
you
Thank
today.
you.
This has
Thank you.
been great, eye-opening. If you have questions, you have the resources. We'll list them at the end of this podcast. And stay tuned for episode 3.